Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the NFC East is heating up in a way we haven't seen in quite some time. The Eagles, coming off back-to-back strong seasons, are looking to cement their dominance and make a real push toward that coveted Super Bowl ring. But as always, the competition in this division isn't just sitting still. Teams are making moves, trying to catch up, and in some cases, leapfrogging each other. And today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing rumors that could shake up the Eagles' roster and their championship ambitions: the potential pursuit of Za'Darius Smith by the Philadelphia front office, led by the legendary Howie Roseman. Now, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, you already know that Howie Roseman is no stranger to bold moves. Over the years, he's proven time and again that he's willing to pull the trigger on trades, signings, and draft picks that can immediately turn a team from good to great. Remember the way he built the Super Bowl-winning team in 2017, or how he kept adding pieces to last season's roster to make a deep playoff run. Roseman's philosophy has always been about building a championship-caliber roster, not just for now, but for the long haul. And with that mindset, targeting a player like Za'Darius Smith makes a lot of sense. For those who might not be fully aware, Za'Darius Smith is a highly talented outside linebacker and pass rusher, known for his relentless motor, versatility, and ability to disrupt defenses. He's been a consistent force on the edge, especially during his time with the Green Bay Packers and most recently with the Minnesota Vikings. When healthy, Smith can be a nightmare for quarterbacks, and that kind of pass-rushing prowess is exactly what the Eagles need to bolster a defense that's been solid, but sometimes inconsistent, especially rushing the passer. Adding a player of Smith's caliber could be the missing piece that elevates the Eagles' defense from good to elite. Think about it, the Eagles' defense last season was already pretty formidable, ranking near the top in many categories. But when you look at their pass rush, there's always room for improvement. The team's edge rushers, including players like Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, are fantastic, but sometimes they lack that consistent, game-changing presence that can collapse a pocket and force turnovers. A player like Za'Darius Smith, with his ability to get after the quarterback on third downs and in critical situations, would be a game-changer. It's no secret that the NFL has become a passing league, and having that extra edge to get to the quarterback quickly can make all the difference in close games, especially in the playoffs. And let's not forget, the Eagles have been very strategic in recent years about acquiring veteran talent that can make an immediate impact. Roseman isn't just looking to fill roster spots, he's aiming to build a championship-winning squad. Bringing in Za'Darius Smith would send a message to the rest of the league that the Eagles are not only contenders, but are willing to go all in to secure that Super Bowl trophy. The fans, the players, the coaching staff, everyone would feel the energy and confidence that comes from making such a bold move. Now, there's been some speculation about how feasible this trade or signing might be. Smith is currently under contract, and the Vikings might be hesitant to part ways with such a key player, especially if they see him as part of their defensive core moving forward. However, the NFL is all about negotiations, and with Howie Roseman's reputation as a savvy dealmaker, you can never count him out. Plus, there's the potential for the Eagles to work out a trade that involves draft picks or other assets, perhaps even targeting Smith as a rental for the season, or maybe even exploring a longer-term deal if the fit is right. What's also interesting is how this fits into the broader context of the Eagles' overall roster strategy. Last season, the team showed that they're not afraid to invest in their defense and add veteran leadership. Players like James Bradbury and D'Andre Swift came in and immediately made impacts. Adding a player like Za'Darius Smith would continue that trend of aggressive roster building, showing the league that the Eagles are not just happy to be contenders, they want to be the team to beat. Now, let's talk a bit about the division rivals, because this move, if it happens, could have ripple effects across the NFC East. The Cowboys, for example, have been building their own defense, but the addition of a player like Smith to the Eagles' front line could tilt the balance even further in Philadelphia's favor. Imagine the pressure on opposing quarterbacks when they face a pass rush that includes Sweat, Graham, and potentially Smith all rushing from different angles. That's a nightmare scenario for any offensive line. Meanwhile, the Giants and Commanders are also trying to find ways to improve, but the Eagles seem to be positioning themselves as the team to beat again. And speaking of the Eagles' defense, it's worth highlighting how their scheme has evolved under defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. The team has been flexible, often deploying multiple fronts and blitz packages to confuse opposing offenses. With Za'Darius Smith's ability to line up on different sides and his proficiency in both outside linebacker and edge rusher roles, he would fit perfectly into Gannon's versatile scheme. This would give the Eagles even more options to pressure the quarterback and generate turnovers, which are crucial in playoff scenarios. Now, fans might be wondering, what about the salary cap? Well, that's always a concern, but Roseman and the front office have shown they're masters of maneuvering around cap constraints. They've managed to create space in the past through restructures, releases, and clever signings. If they see Smith as the missing piece, they'll likely find a way to make the numbers work. Plus, Smith's contract might be structured in a way that allows some flexibility, especially if a team like the Eagles is serious about acquiring him. It's also worth mentioning that the Eagles have a strong locker room culture, and adding a player like Smith, who's known for his work ethic and leadership, could have positive effects beyond just his on-field production. The team's young core, including Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and others, would benefit from the veteran presence and intensity that Smith brings. It's about building a roster that's not just talented, but also cohesive and hungry for success. Now, let's shift gears a little and consider the bigger picture. The NFL landscape is constantly shifting, and teams that make bold moves often find themselves in the best position for a deep postseason run. For the Eagles, making a move for Za'Darius Smith would be a statement. It's about saying, "We're here to win now, and we're willing to do whatever it takes." This kind of confidence is contagious and can energize the entire organization, from the coaching staff to the fans in Lincoln Financial Field. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. Injuries happen, unexpected setbacks occur, but the intention behind acquiring a player like Smith is clear: to bolster the team's chances of going all the way. The Eagles have built a solid foundation, and adding more star power on defense could be the final piece that puts them over the top. Fans are already excited, and the media buzz around this potential move is only growing. And let's not forget the importance of the NFC East in the grand scheme of the NFC playoff picture. Historically, this division has been fiercely competitive, often producing playoff teams and division winners. The Eagles have been the dominant force recently, but with other teams making their own moves, it's crucial for Philadelphia to stay ahead. A player like Za'Darius Smith could be the difference maker in those critical late-season games and playoff battles. In terms of historical context, the Eagles have a proud tradition of making impactful trades and signings. From acquiring players like Terrell Owens in the past to drafting stars like Jalen Hurts, the franchise has always been about strategic moves that elevate the team. The potential pursuit of Za'Darius Smith continues that legacy, and it's exciting to think about how this could reshape the team's future. Now, for all the fans watching, I want you to imagine what this could mean. A defense that's even more aggressive, more relentless, and capable of shutting down the league's best defenses. Jalen Hurts, already a dual-threat superstar, would have even more confidence knowing he's backed by a ferocious pass rush. The energy around the team would skyrocket, and suddenly, the Eagles would look even more like serious Super Bowl contenders. And I know many of you are eager to see how this story unfolds. Will Howie Roseman pull the trigger and make this move happen? Will Za'Darius Smith wear midnight green next season? All of that remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The Philadelphia Eagles are always in the mix, always looking for ways to improve, and always aiming for that ultimate goal: the Lombardi Trophy. In the big picture, This potential move underscores how the Eagles are positioning themselves at the forefront of NFL powerhouses. They've built a team that's young, talented, and hungry, but they're also smart enough to know that in this league, sometimes a single trade or signing can change everything. The NFC East is already one of the most competitive divisions in football, and with the Eagles making bold moves, they're reminding everyone that they're here to stay, and they're not backing down from the championship chase. So, Eagles fans, keep your eyes peeled. The offseason is just heating up, and we could see some big surprises in the weeks ahead. Whether it's the pursuit of Za'Darius Smith or other moves, one thing remains clear. The Philadelphia Eagles are committed to getting back to the Super Bowl, and with the right pieces, they might just have what it takes to bring that trophy home once again. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move for Za'Darius Smith? Do you think it's the missing piece? Would you be excited to see him in midnight green? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news.